This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I'll be the first to admit I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with the OM system OM-5. When it first came out and I reviewed it, I think my expectations were quite high. I basically wanted it to be my everything camera, quite like the OM-3 is now. And I don't think the OM-5 was really there yet. However, I recently bought one used and I got it for a pretty good price. And I think while it might never be my everything camera, there's certainly a lot to love. So, it's time that I revisited my old nemesis. Here are my updated thoughts on the OM system OM-5. I think in terms of size and ergonomics, it's probably my all-time favourite everyday carry sort of design. You still get an EVF, you get a flippy screen, and it's nice and comfortable with a good grip as well. I know a lot of people say that this is their favourite sort of style camera body, and I totally see where they're coming from. I've been really putting the OM-5 to the test over the last few days. I'm here in Osaka for a week and then heading to Tokyo shortly after. We've been to Nara Park and photographed the deer. I've done plenty of nighttime photography. It's also due to rain later today, so I might get some nighttime rainy shots, all being well. And I have to say, for photography, it's just a wonderful experience. The autofocus is really snappy. It surprised me in the best way possible in terms of low light as well. I know it's not quite properly low light because the city is still quite lit up at night, but in the darker scenes, I think the images are really, really clean. I haven't used any noise reduction whatsoever on any of these example photos. And less fun, and also completely predictably, the old style menus have been doing my head in. But I have used the custom buttons and the super menu a lot. And to be honest, when I'm shooting street photography or travel photography, I just use shutter speed priority 99% of the time. So I don't need to deep dive into the menus too much anyway. Do I wish it had the newer menus? Yes, I'm beating a dead horse at this point. I think I mention it in every single video. But it is what it is, and it is workable for sure. But I'm not going to give in. I've been testing the IBIS with the handheld video, and it's been doing excellently, but also for long exposures, both in the daytime using live ND, we had some fun with that, and also at night as well. Just getting like traffic trails or even boat trails in Dotonbori has been really, really good fun. The IBIS is second to none. I'm out here with the GH5 as well, and even though the IBIS on the GH5 is very, very good, the IBIS on the OM-5 is just something else entirely. Absolutely excellent. It is humid. So I'm sorry if my hair is just sticking to me at all angles. I know that the OM-5 really appeals to photocentric shooters, and I totally get that. I just think, as I prefer more hybrid stuff, I have to touch on the video a little bit. It is only 8-bit, it's not the best quality in the world. I've been trying to do some video postcards while I'm here using the GH5, and the quality of those is superb. Conversely, on the OM-5, some of the clips are quite nice, but none of it really excels in the video department. Now, of course, most people will say it's just for photography anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But one thing I have found that's really good for the video is if I shoot a bit of vertical content, I can use the OI Share app, stick it on my phone and share it straight away to socials. And while this stuff might not compare in any way to like a GH5 level of quality in terms of video, it's certainly a huge step above what my phone can do, so it looks really nice on socials at least. While the OM-5 is certainly incredibly robust, it is high quality plastic. The older EM-5 line of cameras had that magnesium alloy metal body, just like the OM-3. I have to say, the OM-5 is very convincing. Like, you can look at it and you wouldn't know that it's high quality plastic. You really have to touch it and sort of get a little bit closer to it to understand. But yeah, I do miss the metal build quite a bit, particularly because I shoot the OM-3 a lot. I do appreciate that the OM-5 is nice and small and light, but yeah, there's just something more robust about the OM-3 that I much prefer. Despite the plastic materials, the OM-5 is still IP53 rated, so hopefully when it rains later, everything's going to be okay. In terms of lenses, I've been using the two new OM System primes, the 17mm and the 25mm. And you may have noticed I've been using a mist filter. I have a K&F Concept mist filter. Probably been using it a bit too much. I'm a little bit obsessed with how it looks, but it does bake in a certain look into the file. So if you do see any blooming, it's not the camera being weird, it's just a creative effect that I'm going for personally. Just like with the OM-3, I've programmed the dial on the back to be the on and off switch rather than the one on the left. It's so good that we can change this, but if you couldn't, it would be very annoying. I so value being able to turn the camera on and off one-handed. Sometimes when you are shooting around street photography, you just need quick access with one hand. So I've assigned that lever to be the on and off switch, and it works much better. And while there is notoriously no USB-C on the OM-5, it doesn't stop me from using a power bank to top up the camera when I'm out and about, which is quite handy, to be honest. I would recommend getting 1 or 2 extra batteries with this if you do get one. The battery life isn't terrible by any stretch, but for a full day shooting, I have been sort of leaving it on the power bank for a little bit while we've stopped for food, for example. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I have used Squarespace for years and years and years, well before they supported this channel and helped me to do cool, mad things like this as my job. If you want a website, there is no better place to look than Squarespace. They make everything really simple for you, and I think their templates are superb. I love my little corner of the internet on microphonenerds.com. I sell my presets, I blog, and I just have a lovely old time. No algorithm can dictate it. It's just there, and I can say what I want and share what I want, and it doesn't get buried with social media. You just have your own little place to call your own online. So if that appeals to you, you should definitely give Squarespace a go. You can create your website, and then when you're ready to launch, you can use the code MicrophoneNerds to get a discount off your first purchase with them. You can check out the links below, and thank you as always to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. It really does mean the world. So the rainy shoot went quite well. What didn't go as well is my POV footage of it. So let's just not talk about that. I'm here now in sunny Tokyo, in Shinjuku, and honestly, it's very hard to take a bad photo here. It's so cool. And I've so enjoyed having a more minimalistic setup with the OM-5 in the last few days. I'm here with the OM-5 and also the Lumix GH5 because I'm making another video while I'm here. And my goodness, on the days where I have the GH5, my shoulders and my back are much more fatigued. So it's a dramatic difference having a much smaller form factor with the OM-5, and I'm really enjoying it. I got some panning shots last night with the OM-5 because you just got to while you're here, haven't you? It's iconic. If you want to do some of these yourself, I like to start in shutter speed priority and start at maybe 1/25th of a second. And then depending on your focal length and the speed of what you're shooting, you can adjust your shutter speed to taste. I would say you don't need as long a shutter speed as you assume. And it's very easy to do, but you will get a lot of shots that look bad. And then the odd one that works really well. You just need a little bit of practice with it. It's always a really fun photography experiment. And another top tip in general, not just for the OM-5, is if you are shooting colourful, glowing signs at night and you want to retain the colour detail, you really do have to expose for the signs, otherwise you can risk blowing them out. So what I've been doing is shooting in shutter speed priority again, but keeping my exposure compensation knocked down to like -3 or -7. Now the results are the images will look quite underexposed, like this. I put this on my Instagram stories last night and I got loads of DMs saying like, have you put noise reduction on it? Have you edited this in a specific way? How can you do this with Micro Four Thirds? And spoiler, you could always do this with Micro Four Thirds. There's way more dynamic range than you think in these files. And the full frame brainwashing of the internet is really something to behold. So no, there is no additional noise reduction on this. You just have great dynamic range to work with in these files. I actually edited this on my phone in a Beatles themed bar, which is quite nice. So yeah, expose for the signs, keep the colour in your images, and you'll get much better nighttime results. And just trust that you'll be able to pull it back in the raw files, because you will. So now that I've revisited the OM-5, I do think, particularly now that the prices have come down, it's well worth a look if you want an everyday carry that is small, stylish, weather sealed, and has good autofocus. But the one thing that this whole sort of experiment has brought home for me is how much OM System, or Lumix, anyone at this point, needs to create an updated, smaller camera. Because from this one, where we have the dated menus and not USB-C, etc., The next one up is the OM-3, which is a big price jump and also has a lot of spec that a lot of people don't need. Not everybody needs a stacked sensor, though it can be very nice to have. I think there's a huge market for someone who just wants an OM-5 with more modern menus, USB-C, and perhaps better video features. I think that would tick so many boxes for everyone and would be the one to beat, really, in the smaller form factor. I just wish someone would blooming make it. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from an updated OM-5. I mean, it's so close to being perfect, but there are a few updates that do need to happen, in my opinion. And watch my OM-3 versus OM-5 video next to see how the two cameras compare.